necessity to get into trouble sort of activates the story, and my character gets pulled into my brother's drama yet again, and being a journalist begins to sort of sort out a bunch of clues left behind that ultimately lead him to discover that his brother's involved in a cult that's also based on a television show. That's not complicated enough.
So even though you've only shot the pilot so far, will we get to hear the backstory, get more information about the backstory of your character and Nate?
I mean, I think so. I like to think that will be explored. I'm sure it will. I mean, there's so many dimensions and possibilities in terms of approaching the narrative. But I know that in the pilot it was addressed a little bit. My character's history as a journalist has a checkered sort of past, and his brother's got a past that I'm sure it will explore itself more. How, I don't know.
Now, what attracted you to this pilot as opposed to others, aside from just getting the job?
Yeah, no, I mean, there wasn't really others. I called my agents when I found out that they're going to write my character off the show, or that he was going to die, or that he was no longer going to be a regular. And literally, they called me back on Monday with an offer. And they gave me 3 scripts to read over the weekend. I only read Cult. It's the only one I wanted to read. I thought it was the only one that was really, really interesting. The others were like a procedural show, and I think Beauty and the Beast. So it just happened. So they made me the offer on Monday. So it just happened. So my head's spinning, and I was on a plane shooting the pilot while we were shooting the finale of Vampire Diaries, and it got picked up, and now here we are in Comic-Con. So it wasn't like I was sorting through lots of pilots and decided on this one. It was just boom. Yeah.
Speaking of Vampire Diaries, on there you played such a beloved character, but you weren't like the main, star of the show.
Right.
Now it's like kind of on you in a way. They're like
no pressure.
Not the added pressure on.
Thanks.
But is there like added pressure in terms of carrying the show? Or you recognize me?
Oh my God! Hi. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Why would you tell me? Hi.
Well,
Oh my goodness! Hi. It's just dawning on me. How are you?
Good,
We follow each other on Twitter. I don't know if you follow me anymore.
Yeah, I do. No, I haven't given up.
Oh, okay. What was your question?
Do you feel like more pressure now, or are you able to put that out of your mind in terms of just looking at it?
I feel the pressure, but I also am grateful for the opportunity. And I feel like I've worked through enough of my demons and my self-destructive tendencies to sort of hit the ground running and maximize this to the best of my ability. There are so many factors involved that are outside of your control that you have to surrender a little bit. So I'm comfortable surrendering. I'm comfortable with the pressure of making it, of this being my first lead in a show. So, and it's not all on my shoulders. I've got Jessica and Alona and Robert, who are a great supporting group of people. So it's all of our show, really. And so I feel comfortable that between all of us we'll be able to carry it.
This is your, I don't know, how many years you've been here for Vampire Diaries, but now you're here for Cult. What's this transition going to be like for you?
In terms of
you're coming here with you're coming in with a new show. You're trying to sell it to a new audience.
It's weird. It's definitely weird. My head is spinning, and I think that having been now online so long and cultivated an audience through Twitter, through Vampire Diaries, to segue into a show that sort of plays upon these themes and the shadowy realm of it all is weird to me. It's a little strange in terms of the parallels of Manifest Destiny. So it's definitely a strange transition. I'm looking forward to it though. I think it's a perfect fit, and I think I think for people who watched Alaric and liked Alaric and that character, I think it'll be a good transition, a good parting gift, a consolation prize.
Sure.
We did like that very
Considering that Vampire Diaries does have such an avid fan base, have you ever had a creepy or strange encounter that you would relate to the people of Cult?
More than you can mention.
I can't say that I've actually had a creepy or inappropriate fan experience. By and large, I have found the social media realm to be a rather loving and forgiving place. There's certainly a lot of weirdos on it, me being one of them. So I can't cast stones, to be quite honest. But I haven't had anything like the show.
Okay.
like people breaking into my house, and, like murdering my dog or anything. Yeah, knock
I'll
on.
be over later.
Be my own undoing. Yeah. The Illuminati's cool joke.
Speaking of characters, have you ever gone somewhere where people, like Nicky Blonde, where people actually was mistaking you for like a character you played and just like, man, I hate to like.
No, no one knows my name. No one knows my name, and it's been weird. It's like this sort of. It's nice, but people know my characters more than Alaric or Warner from Nicky Blonde more than anything. Or now Ernesto Riley. I get a lot of Ernesto Riley, but rarely does anyone stop us. Matt Davis.
As a fan, who would you like to meet?
Who would I like to meet as a fan? Man, that's a good question. I feel like I'd want to hang out with. I feel like I want to hang out with Tom Cruise right now. I just feel like he needs like a buddy, you know. I was just like be his wingman, you know.
And I feel a connection because of the vampire history.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we have like the vampire history. I think we have a shared affinity for aliens and bizarre philosophical, life approaches. So, even though I'm not a Scientologist, I feel like he and I could relate. I'd be like, listen, Tom, you don't need to be a Scientologist to get it to work. I mean, I feel like I'm very much on board with what you're saying, but I'm not stuck in the organization. But I'm a huge fan of Tom Cruise, and if I were to ever meet anybody, I'd love to meet him.
And what would you say to people who are thinking about tuning into to the show? How would you tell them to? Why should they tune in?
Well, I think if you like to be scared and you like to indulge your paranoia and you like to be challenged sort of creatively when you watch your television, I think this is a good show for that. How's that for a soundbite?
That was good.
Yeah.
Do you like to be scared?
I love being scared. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big amusement park fan, so like I love roller coasters and the horror ride. So if a television show can sort of simulate that in my imagination, great. And I think that this show has the capacity to really do that.
And what about your character?
I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I could have gotten it.